Welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. Whether you're watching us live at sktrading.live or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we've got you covered. Subscribe, join the community, and get ready to dive into real talk and real market insights. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Kalayjian, and welcome to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly. Wow, today was pure out ugly. Forget about a caboose, it was just pure outright ugly. Bank stocks got absolutely cabooshed. Microsoft came out and said they're abandoning their data centers, some data centers. Cabooshed across the board here. Bitcoin down over 3,500. MSTR down 35. Coinbase down 13. FAZs are up 5%. Look at the Russell down over 4 points, over 2%. 2% across the board. Remember I said to you about 3-4 days ago, the weekly charts are in sell mode. The MACDs are negative, and I'll show this to you, and I did it last night. And the dailies got overbought, a 95 overbought reading. My first target was 57.80. My second target was 58.30. The high is 58.37. My second target, 58.50. My fourth target was 58.80. But that's it. They got it to my second target. I said the first target on the way down would be to fill the gap, and that was at 57.23 3/4. Yesterday's low, 57.20. Then we had all this news with Microsoft. We had the PCE number came in. Market got excited early on. Wages rose by 0.1. And then next thing you know, what happened, right? The numbers across the board look weak here. We have gold that rallied up 24 here. Again, fear of a slowing economy here. Oil got absolutely cabooshed in like the last hour and a half, ended up being down over 1%. As we speak right now, the S&Ps are practically right a half a hand away from making new lows. I still think what's going to happen here is we may get a double bottom push down. Maybe we dip to the 54.80, 55.30. We got to buy divergences, which I'll show you on the dailies here. The monthlies are still very, very bullish here. Again, we would need to take out that 537, which is 200 points roughly lower on the S&P, which brings it down to like the 5,400 level. I don't see that really happening. Again, I do think that this weekly chart that we have right now is going to expand anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and then I think once they start cutting interest rates in the second to third quarter, I think the markets will start rebounding here. Again, right now, everything was off of that significant overbought chart, and then the PC number. But again, Microsoft really led the way here today. So let me just show you what I'm looking at here. Okay, so if you look up the S&P futures, as I showed you yesterday, right, the weekly is in that sell mode right here. And I told you this is a real bearish pattern. And then I said, look at the daily right here. And the daily had a 97 overbought reading. And look at that high, 58.37. My second target was 58.30. Okay, here it is. Now, here's what's going to happen here. You got the positive MACDs here, right here. And you can see this is the low. So if we do get another push down on Monday or Tuesday and we get into single digits here, you're going to have some buy divergences on the MACD. And I don't think the MAC, especially if you make a new low here, taking out this number. Now we rolled. So the number is 55.61 because we rolled to June. But the March low was 55.09. So if you see that here, okay, you can see that the way we push down here, okay, if we did get a deep oversold condition, you have a lot of, I don't believe between the positive MACD and the MACD here making the low, when we made the new low for the year, I don't think that, I think this is going to be short-lived. I really do. Even if we dropped here, and then I think we rally right back up. So that's what my plan, that's what I'm looking at right now. Today, I'll show you some really great patterns here. When the SDSs reversed the buy, right here on the 15s. You can see right here on the 15s, the SDS is reversed to buy. We had the gap up here. Well, I'm sorry, we already got positive, but here's the 5-minute time frame. When the 5 reversed to buy, it was on the 5-minute. We gapped up right after the opening, and you can see the big push up here. And then this was the first pullback right here on the S&P, on the SDSs. Now the S&Ps on that pattern right there, that was the oversold condition on the SDSs, and we got the overbought condition at 65 on the S&P, 64.5, 65s. And that literally was the first pullback on the SDSs after the 5-minute time frame correlated with the 15. Monster pattern there. And then if you look, I'll show you the inverse. The spiders had the first push up on the 5-minute after the 15-minute reverse to sell. So we dropped sharply right after. We had some really good shorts in the pre-market, looking at 34s, 33s, 32s. I mean, they dropped and covered. Never expected a drop like this. But again, the bigger time frames here, the 15s, the 30s, and the 60-minute time frames were in sell mode. And then this was a really great pattern. And then if you look here, you can see the 15-minute time frames on the spiders. I'll go back to the 15 here to show you the inverse. This is the pattern right here that I'm showing you, 1140. The S&Ps were trading 56.65, and they dropped about 30 handles, pushed up again here on the 5-minute. And then here's another bear flag. And then this is the push up right here on the 15. Roughly around the 215 time period. If I bring you up to the S&P futures, you can see here the pattern right here. This is the 5-minute time frame right here after the opening right here. Ding ding ding, 9:30. The push up. We had sold this here prior, okay, and then here the push up was up to 31. I think I was offering 34s there and never really got filled there. And then it just got absolutely annihilated on the way down. And then this is the push up here, the first bounce on the 5-minute time frame after the 5-minute time frame reversed to sell. And then watch this when the 5-minute time frame reversed to sell right here. This little push up from 65 all the way down to 40, 45. So it dropped about 19, pushed up again here. And then this was the other short here above 42. So this is the first bounce on the 5-minute after the 5 correlated with the 15. And then this was another push up here towards the end of the day on the 15 and got up to around 36.5 and then dropped sharply. But here is the big picture here. If you look at the 30 and the 60-minute time frames, you can see the big selling pressure right here and the rising ADXs. This was really the kiss of death all day, right? This was the kiss of death all day. I mean, you saw stocks like Tesla down 10. Microsoft had nothing but sells all day. Microsoft had a beautiful short around the 230 time period. Microsoft dropped about $1.50, $2 off the 15s. Nvidia really didn't act that bad, but had some good shorts right after around the 215, 230. Again, the 15-minute time frames were really kicking in at certain points today. The Russell acted like death. Really good patterns on the 15-minute time frames on the Russell. It really has. I just tell you, again, with the tariffs coming up in the first week of April, or April 2nd to 3rd, it's going to be a little rocky here for a while here, okay? But I'm not panicking to the point where I think those monthlies are going to reverse to sell. I think there's a lot of underlying positives here for the market. One, you got the big buy divergences like I showed you on the weekly charts. On the daily charts with the positive MACD and the MACD not making potentially a new low from that 55.09, which ends up being the June contract 55.61 because of the roll on the continuous contract. But then the monthly charts are still very, very bullish. It's a monthly chart. So I don't think that's going to get penetrated. But, again, when that weekly reversed to sell 2 weeks ago, right, today being the second week, because it closes at the end of the bar on the end of the week, I said, this is the first time we got a big sell on the weekly from November 17th of 2023. So from November 17th of 2023 until 2 weeks ago, we went a monster uptrend on this weekly. And when you get this big sell on the weekly, you don't go to sell and then buy. Okay. So again, when the daily got overbought, okay, indicator 3 got overbought into the negative MACD on the weekly, you had nowhere but to go down. The first target was 57.23 3/4, filled that gap, pushed up today, and then got absolutely kabooshed today with Microsoft's news, the PCE, and the overall tone of the market. And the fear of these tariffs is just spooking the hell out of everybody, all right? Some really other great patterns here today. Avago had some really great patterns, and I'll show them to you. Gold really bucked the trend here. Gold really bucked the trend, up 25, 3,100 on gold, 3,116. Unbelievable. I was looking to buy gold on the daily charts. I was looking around the 28.10, 28. The low got down to 28.40 and rallied 270 points on gold. Again, gold has broken out on the charts. Hopefully we get some type of a decent pullback here on the dailies and weeklies, because the next target on gold probably around the 3250, 3300. But I think you get a pullback first on gold. With that being said, MSTR got absolutely annihilated today, down $35. And you can see the 60-minute time frame. Look at the rising ADXs here on both the 60 and this was pretty much the market the whole day, right? If you look at it here, you got the 15-minute time frame, you got the 5-minute time frame. You can see here every bounce on the 5-minute. Look at this beautiful pattern here. 12 o'clock. Let me go back. All right, this is the gap. This is the gap down. The 5 correlated. Never look back. This is the first bounce right here. The same time, everything aligned. It's just really funny how everything aligns at certain time periods. 11:40 MSTR trading around the 305 level. Boom, drop $5 like that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 6 bars. Okay, 6 bars. Everything aligned at 11:40. Index futures, individual name stocks, everything aligned. The underlying ETFs, everything aligned at 11:40. And then this is the bounce here on the 15-minute time frame. Again, you can see here 297 and change. This is the bounce here on the 5. The ADXs are rising so high that you want to be able to take advantage of those ADXs when they're rising like that, and especially in a negative trend and the big selling pressure. And look what this did here. MSTR 297.41. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars, dropped north of $7. Really, really, really phenomenal patterns. All right, S&Ps right now are trading 56.11 3/4. New lows here for the day. This dropped about 19 in the last 25 minutes. So volatility's here. All right, volatility's here. Most important thing I can tell you, okay, is that be ready for this. This is going to continue. Okay, we had one day here where it was a lull, with the volatility. I actually thought today coming in was going to be quite quiet to a degree. That's what I thought in the early morning. And then once that PCE number came out, the news of Microsoft, they pushed up and they got absolutely kabooshed. And that was the end of it. Most important, you pick the names that you trade, you're confident in your abilities, and you trade what you see. Okay, so look at this, 07, 08s right now, 07 3/4, 08s on the S&Ps, new lows. We're technically about 100 points away on the S&P from that low, from that 55.09, or as I adjusted because of the June contract, 55.61, which is really nothing. If you look right now, okay, 562.94, I mean, the S&Ps have to rally 80 points, okay, 80 handles just to get the 60-minute time frames to reverse. But here's what I think what we're looking at here. Again, this is a fear factor based upon the tariffs coming in, what Microsoft came out to say. To me, I just think that you trade what you see. We're confident in the ability that we have. Look at the charts. Like I tell everybody all the time, we're like doctors. Doctor looks at an X-ray chart, MRI, a CAT scan, trade the charts, right? Let's identify the patterns. That's most important, all right? Let's look at Coinbase today. Coinbase, really great patterns in Coinbase today. Again, no same similarities here. You can see Coinbase, same time as MSTR, had that pop here, 177, and then you can see the drop here down to 74. Everything aligned. The 5-minute time frames aligned at 1140 right here. Here's the 1140 Bitcoin, Coinbase 180, drop in 3, and then you wait for the 15-minute time frame right here, and you can see what happened at 215, 220. Again, gold very strong today on gold. The GLDs really had a good undertone here. That 60-minute time frame on the GLDs has some really big buying pressure, but overall the markets just were completely weak right out of the gate. It's really funny. In the pre-market, we were trading, I think the high was 57, like 34. All right. And you can see the complete reversal here. But coming in, the 15 to 30 and the 60-minute time frames were still in sell mode. It was that cross on the 5-minute time frame on the STSs and the 5-minute cross on the spiders that really put the market into a tailspin. Every rally was a short, and we'll see what happens. But eventually, we're going to get to a deep oversold condition, and we'll get a rally. That 61, 66, well, guess what? That's not going to get touched for a while, okay? That's not going to get touched for a while.
Thanks for tuning in to the Bull, the Bear, and the Ugly podcast, your no-nonsense guide to the markets. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe at sktrading.live or on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love for you to rate, review, and join our community for more real talk and market insights. Until next time, keep trading and stay sharp.